What is up, everybody? It is DJ Martini Midwest Reviews coming at you with another video for my channel. Today we have a good one. We have the Impact 10 from ProReck, fresh off the press, new system from ProReck, and you're seeing it here first on DJ Martini Midwest Reviews. Thank you, ProReck, for providing one, but just remember, everybody, I'm still going to give you that honest review and give you all those details because when I grab something, I want to make sure it does its job and gets the job done, most importantly. So, stay tuned. I got a lot of information. What's in the box, pros and cons, sound test, final thoughts, everything, and maybe even a little hookup as well. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. DJ Martini Midwest Reviews. Please like, subscribe, and share, all that good stuff. We're building a great community here. So join up the Martini Nation right here, and let's continue to grow this channel. So thank you guys out there. All right. One last thing, I do have an unboxing out there. First look, if you want to take a look at that first, just to see my reactions and what I thought initially. And then also, just remember too, the Impact, they have the Impact 8 as well. So this is a 10-inch woofer, 1-inch tweeter. They also have an 8-inch woofer with a 1-inch tweeter as well. A little less watts, and a little less price though as well. So we're going to talk about some of the pros and cons of all that, but we'll get there when we get there. So let's get into what is in the box. Like I said, I do have that unboxing, but of course I got to start this the way I always do and show you guys everything the way I do. So we're going to start with the cables right here. You will get a decent size. I would say this is like 12 to 15 feet, but you're going to get quarter jack to quarter jack, and that's what's going to be to hook up everything. The two speakers, you have one powered, one passive, like I said, and I'm going to show you how to hook it up and all that good stuff. So you'll get that cable, and that's what also I love about ProReck all the time is you get everything included in the systems most of the time, depending on the on the speakers or whatever you get. But for the most part, when you pick up a system, they're going to have everything you need to get going, which is awesome. So get a microphone. We're going to talk about the microphone in a little bit, but you will get a microphone. You of course get the plug, your standard plug. This is a 5-foot cable, I would say. Get the standard plug. Already showing some hookup here because it's going to go right there into that plug outlet. You will get a remote right here, which we will talk about and test a little bit later. And then you will get an instruction manual, which is good because it's not just one page. I hate when you get those systems and they have one page flip back front and you're like, really, this is the instructions. So very, very nice instruction manual. Thank you, ProReck. They explain everything, mic, stereo line, hookup. I love that they have a spec sheet in there. Keep doing that, ProReck. That's better than some companies out there. I love that they put the specs in there. Let me know what's going on. And then they also have your sales right there. The best way to reach ProReck there, sales1@proreck.com. Also, you can check them out at audioproreck.com. That's the best place to pick up stuff. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but they are all over Walmart, Amazon, eBay. So it should help you guys make an expansion to be able to purchase this all over the world. But definitely check them out, and I'll give you some discount help here later in the video. So anyways, back to what's in the box again. So this is the amp unit speaker. You can look at the front real quick. It does have I left the stickers on there so I could show you guys they stay true stereo sound right here. They have their emblem. We'll get a little closer to them. But then they're also going to have their other speaker right here. This is the passive unit, which basically just has a little plug on the back, your quarter jack input. But one thing I will tell you guys right away, and you guys saw it in the unboxing, is that this thing is heavy. These things are heavier than I thought for a 10-inch speaker. They're heavy, but I'm saying they're heavy as in they feel like pretty well built, whatever kind of speakers are in them. They're not portable. They're super portable. They're super, I wouldn't say super light, but they're light enough that they're not killing your back, especially like me. Like I said, I got a bad back, so I'm trying my best not to carry the heaviest stuff, and this would definitely help in that. They do have a plastic shell. They do have a small grill, all that kind of stuff. But it's pretty well built, so I was pretty excited about that. We do have some pros and cons a little bit later, but All right, guys, so let's show you a little bit of hookup now, guys. Of course, you get them on your tripods. You get your tripod set up. Everything's good there. And then we're going to go through hookups. So we're going to go ahead and unplug everything so we don't have anything hooked up. And of course, you got to plug it into the wall. So let's go ahead and plug it into the wall. And then I always plug it in first, and then, of course, plug it into the wall. And then you have your quarter jack cable. We're going to go ahead and hit that on your speaker out right here, which your speaker out is going to go to your other speaker right here. And we're going to go in right there. Really easy. So we got that. Then we have that microphone that they provided, which we will talk about here in a second. The microphone right here. And then we're going to put that in channel 1. So we have that. If you wanted to use that or any other microphone, and your volume for that will be right here. But I always keep my volumes down until I'm testing. And then whatever you wanted to hook up. So you wanted to hook up a tablet. This is what I found, and I'm going to leave a link for this. But there's all kinds of cables that you can use. This is a mono cable. And then look at that. A tablet, USB Type-C. Yeah, that's from Ukraine right there. But yes, very, very cool. And I could go into channel 1 and I could hook up that tablet. If you don't have that and you're using a controller or a mixer, we just go old school, guys. We go RCAs, because that's what it has. RCAs, we want that channel 2. I also have an adapter for this, but it is just 3.5 with an adapter. And I can hook this into my tablet, my computer, whatever we need, it's going to work right there. Or if you're hooking into a mixer or a controller, then you just have, look, I have adapters on here if you need them, but if you have RCAs on your controller, I would just use those. But I do have these adapter mono quarter, and then we just go right here. We go into those RCAs, into your controller with quarter jack. They also make XLR. You can get XLR to RCAs. They do make those as well. So check that out. You just need to find the cable that you need for the application that you need. So this unit also has Bluetooth. So let's go ahead and fire it up with the on switch right there. So we're fired up. I want to tell you guys that it does have a link out here. So you can hook it up to any, and I repeat, any other powered PA speaker or sub. You would just need the right cable. So if you have this and you want to go dual, you could go a single out to a dual cable that has a left and a right, and you'd be able to use it with that sub. If you just needed to go to another speaker, you can just get a single XLR and go out to that speaker. So just depends on what you got, how you want to hook it up, but you just need the correct cable. And I always have to say that you just need to pick up the cable. So this does have a few modes. And so let's go ahead and talk about the remote real quick. You do have a remote here, and you do have batteries in the back that you will need. It does come with the batteries. That's cool. So put those batteries in. You have mode, power, mute, EQ. Check out those EQ because it actually does work. They have a few EQ modes. Repeat, scan, volume, your numbers, but they do have a few things. Let's see if it works with the... No, it won't work unless you have something in the USB. So we'll go there right quick. And here I got a little USB with some music on it. Go ahead and plug that in. Here's one that I can play for you. But you do have modes here. So let's go to those EQ modes. You have, I believe that's rock, pop, classical, jazz. So you do have a few EQs, and it does change the sound. So you can also play pause, and it's a pretty powerful sensor because the sensor is in the front. Let me tell you that, and I'm hitting this from the back. So that's pretty cool that it works. I'm also going to test this on a test when I show you a little bit later. So I'm surprised how good the remote works for what it looks like. It looks kind of cheap. I'm going to admit it. It looks kind of cheap, but it actually works pretty good, which is surprising. Like I said, the sensor's on the front. We're going to talk about that in the pros and cons a little bit later, but let's go into yeah, it works pretty decent. And so you have the mode, the mute, the EQ, repeat, and scan, all that good stuff. All right. I don't know what happens when you hit the power button. Does it actually shut off? Oh, wow. It actually shuts the speaker off. Does it power back up? Wow. Wow. That's pretty good to me. So you also have, I'm going to take this out now that we showed that. We have Bluetooth. You have Bluetooth 5.0 on this bad boy. You can go to Bluetooth, hook this up, and you have FM. I'll show you that here in a little bit. I think that's about it, guys. That's everything that you need to know, like I said. And let's go ahead and give it a sound test, but I'm going to take you outside and give you the good stuff. All right, guys, it's a little brisk out here. It's very windy and it's a little cold, so I had to put the sweatshirt on, but we're going to get this done for you. I got the ProReck right here. You can see on the porch, kind of like it would be on a stage a little bit, kind of how I would do it at least. I'd have them there. We're going to get back. I'm going to get some sound to you guys, a sound test. I'm also going to test that microphone, and I'm going to put the mic on my fence and then show you a microphone test as well. See how far the reach is as well. All right, guys, it is super windy, so hopefully this isn't a total catastrophe for how it sounds, but it's the best I can do, guys. I'm outside. I'm going to do a sound test. I have it on about 60% volume on the line in and the main in, and then I have the tablet, which is connected to Bluetooth, up to a lot. So I have it almost like to full bore like I do, and then I usually take one notch off. So let's go ahead and see how it sounds. I'm backed up. It's about 30 feet away outside on a windy day. All right, guys, so that was the Bluetooth test. It worked pretty good. Like I said, I was about 30 feet away, back by the back of, you can see behind me, way back there. Run it with my iPad, and we're getting crisp, clear on a windy day. It was working really good. I'm going to give you a microphone test. I'm going to put the microphone on the fence and see how the microphone sounds with the system as a PA system. Let's do this test now.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, mic check. Let's go. DJ Martin, Midwest Reviews, doing a review on the ProReck Impact 10, volume at 75%, 60% on the input value. I think it sounds good, and I think it could be a PA system for you. Let's go.
All right, everybody, let's go ahead and talk about that sound test. It was pretty cool, in my opinion. Like, it was windy. It's not the best for it, but that, I think it even made it better because I was 40 foot away. I'm using Bluetooth from my tablet, walking around. It's no sound drops. Everything's working good. I'm getting good signal from where I'm at. I can hear the music. I can actually feel the bass coming from it, which is cool for a woofer, a 10-inch woofer. So I could feel the bass. It was bassful. There's clarity there. I moved up to 20 feet to about where people would actually be if you were having an event. And crystal clear, a little bit of bass tone, so it sounds fantastic there. Yeah, I was really impressed with the sound test on this. And then the microphone, like, I used the microphone and it actually worked pretty good in my opinion. The recorder was not on me. It was 40 feet away on the fence. And so in that video, the recorder is on the fence, guys. And so I was really impressed that you could hear me through the wind. And then also, when I talked in my big boy voice, I was trying to be a little quiet for the neighborhood, but then I'm like, I'll give it a like I would normally talk. And you could hear me perfectly at the end of that video. So I was really impressed that it would easily work for an outdoor, like, wedding ceremony. Absolutely, these would work just fine for that, for speeches, those types of things outdoors. Yeah, I was pretty fantastic at 40 feet for small events like that. Man, it worked good. So very impressed by the sound, the microphone, and the speakers at that range. So very, very cool. All right, let's go ahead and get into pros. And pros for sure, price point. You can find this on audioprorec.com for $319. You can find it on Amazon for $239. I think that's a fantastic deal for 10-inch PA system. Pros again, I'm going to go into. You get everything. You get everything you need. You get the 2 speakers, 1 amped, 1 passive, tripods, cords you need, and a microphone. So boom, you're all there at $239. That's a great place to start. Okay, so fantastic price point there and everything you need. Good build, like I said, they look good. Good features, bass and treble, everything you need. Easy hookup. So yeah, a lot of positive things going on for there. Let's go ahead and talk about a little bit negative things, because I wouldn't be me without it. The microphone, this is going to be a positive and a negative. The microphone and the cord did not impress me at all. This is a plastic mic and a plastic cord that's super thin. This isn't shielding anything, but it just works. So you guys heard the microphone in the test. It just works. So I have to give it props for just working. But if you were to drop this, I don't know how long it's going to last. So not impressed with the microphone. I wish it was a metal body. I wish it looked a little bit better in my opinion. And I wish they had a normal XLR cord like they normally have in their systems. But it is what it is. And that's a negative for me. But it just works. So I have to give it props for working. Also, the tripods are a little bit short in my opinion. So I wish the tripods were a little taller. Give you a little bit more range and lift on those speakers, especially when you have a smaller system like this. You want to get them as high as possible with the tripods. They're super thick and sturdy, but they're not very tall. So that's an issue for me. That goes in my negative column. The remote, I was going to give you a remote test outside, but it actually wasn't working very good outside. I had to get within 5 feet of the speaker for it to work. I was going to show you that on the video, but like I said, it just wasn't coming out quite right. So I'm just going to tell you, yeah, you got to be close with the mic. Indoors, totally different story. I could be like 10 feet away indoors and it was working just fine, the remote. But outside had little issues, had to be closer to it. So that could be interference, weather, all kinds of things, but a little bit closer with the remote outdoors and then indoors, but it was working outdoors. Another thing that I want to talk about is the FM mode, which this is in the positive, but there I do have a little negative on it. So if we turn this around, so it's very easy to use, and I didn't get to talk about it outside. I wanted to do a scan outside, but it's very easy to do. All you have to do is hit the scan button and boom, it's going to go do the scan every time you hit the scan button. So very cool, very easy to use. And then you just hit the forward and back to go through the channels that you want. Channel 2, 3. I got 17 channels, so that actually works really good. So I don't have any problem with the FM on here, but I just wanted to say that I wish that you could actually manually go through each frequency, like 90.7.8, 90.7.9. I wish you could just hit a button and go through each channel like that. But the scan does work pretty good, and the antenna works a lot better than most systems to be able to pick up as many channels as you can get. So that is good. So it's good that it works a lot better than a lot of systems out there. Just a little negative there. Other than that, I only have one last thing that I want to tell you. Like I said, I'm completely honest and I give the best reviews. Like I said, I'm going to be honest with you about any equipment I get. When I did receive this speaker, I did have an issue, and I know ProReck would have took care of it, no problem, 100%. But the sensor for the IR is somewhere on the sub, like on there. And when I first got the speaker and I was listening to music, I could hear something rattling inside. And like I said, I'm a little Mr. Fix-It myself. I like to fix problems. So I'm like, okay, something's not right. So I took the sub off, and I'll flash a picture of it. And the little sensor for the remote was like, came off of wherever it was mounted. And I don't know where it was mounted in there. And so I actually ran it through the side and mounted it onto the side here really easily. And everything's fine. But I did notice a little bit of rattle inside from that sensor coming loose from wherever it was. It's not a big deal to me. I took care of it really easy, but some people might not know that. And so I just wanted to let you know, if you hear a little rattle, it's probably maybe that sensor. And then also to let ProReck know that I had a little issue with that. But other than that, everything is good to go on these. And like I said, the sound quality is a lot better than I thought it would be. Like, I was really surprised by the bass level on this and the clarity of the music on these. They actually sound really good. Almost as much as we're going to go, this is a good segue into my final thoughts. If you need indoor monitor type speakers, they have that kind of quality in my opinion. They sound that good when it comes to music. So I was really impressed with them, especially if you pick up the 8s. Those would be really good little monitor speakers because they have good bass tones. And so I was impressed with that. I think that's another thing that you could use them for, not only for PA, karaoke, if you're a traveling artist, a little backup system for outdoor ceremonies, a little backup system for any kind of other room that you have. This is going to work, and you don't need a sub. Like I said, the bass was actually pretty impressive. Now, if you're having a party, you could definitely hook up a sub to these because they have that XLR output. So you can still do more with them. And like I said, if I had speakers like this when I was first starting out, it would have helped me a lot, because a little portable system like this that's easy to carry, easy to deliver somewhere, easy to set up, would have made my day back in the day. So I could have took these 2 speakers and one little subwoofer, and boom, I would have had a great party. So I still give the system 2 thumbs up. I think it is really good on the sound quality and the value that you get. And once again, check out audioprorec.com. Check out Amazon. I will leave links for all that in the description and on audioprorec.com. Don't forget to check out my 11% discount code that you will get on any items that you're shopping through audioprorec.com. And that code is CoolJMartini81. Use that code and you'll get 11% off that item price. So once again, all the links will be in the description for the Impact 10 and the Impact 8. Don't forget about it. Like I said, I think it could be a great monitor type system. I think it sounds fantastic. Give it a chance, and it can kind of surprise you. So very, very cool. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This has been DJ Martini Midwest Reviews. Please like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff if this is helpful at all. And I can't wait to see you on my next video or tutorial. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you soon.